Thank you for your job out there. Zane, what is your topic?
Does the 3 strikes law deter crime?
All right, audience. Are you ready?
Yes.
Tampa, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Zane, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, and proceed.
Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. You hear the phrase 3 strikes and you're out. What does your mind jump to? Probably baseball. Now, if you were to say 3 strikes and you're out to, say, a lawyer or a criminal, their mind would probably jump to the life sentence. Why is that? Because of the 3 strikes law. What the 3 strikes law is it's a setup where if someone commits 3 felonies, by the 3rd felony, they are simply just given a life sentence, 25 years to a life sentence. This was put into action on March 7th, 1994 by the state of California by Governor Wilson. It is used throughout the entire United States. The one difference is some states only have a 2-strike law, so it's just 1 less strike. The 3 strikes law deals with violent acts of criminalization and nonviolent acts. This would include rape, violence, arson, robbery, and drug trafficking. The Stanford School of Law said back in 2010, the purpose of the 3 strikes law is to keep murderers, rapists, and molesters behind bars. Question is, does the 3 strikes law really deter crime, and does it keep them behind bars? Well, you kind of got to look at 2 sides of this. Let's go through the pros first of all. The first pro is justice. Since criminals are being put behind bars forever in the life sentence by the 3rd strike, it is giving a point of justice because they're never coming out. It's giving them life sentence without parole. The next pro is that it has reduced felons. Since it was put in act in 1994, it has reduced felony by 20% in the United States. That's a pretty good margin. And the next pro is that it deals with convictions only. What this means, for example, is back in 2016, the LSU running back Darius Geis was drafted to the NFL. He only played 5 games due to injury, and he left the NFL. Once he left the NFL, he was charged with 4 counts of violence, domestic violence, went to court, and he was charged for all 4 counts. He did his jail time, he got out, he was then charged again for 3 separate counts of domestic violence, went back to court, but the charges were dropped this time. Since the charges were dropped, it doesn't count as another strike towards him. So if he were to go back to court, he would only have 1 strike on him. So those are the pros, but now let's move to the cons and the problems with the 3 strikes law. The first con is prison overpopulation. The US houses 5% of the entire world's population, but the US also houses 25% of the world's prison population. That's a large percentage for the entire world. The next con is that it can cause an increase in violence. When the 3 strikes law was put into action back in 1994 of March, Dave Paul, a deputy sheriff at Milwaukee, Oregon Police Department, also said the same month, he put it this way. Imagine a law enforcement officer trying to arrest a twice convicted felon who has nothing to lose in order to escape. What he's getting at with this is that since this felon already has 2 strikes on him, he knows that whatever happens with a 3rd strike, he's going to get a life sentence regardless. So he's got nothing to lose. He'll do whatever he can to get out of his situation. He has nothing to fear. It could lead to death. And the next con is cost. It costs about $20,000 a year to house a young, fit male in a prison each year, and it costs about $60,000 to house an older gentleman from 60 and older just because of medication in the prison. But this isn't a huge issue because only 1% of prisoners all throughout America are over the age of 60, so this isn't the huge issue here. And the last con is that, like I said, it works on even less harsh crimes. So, for example, Washington State voters put it this way as an example. Imagine a kid who's 18 steals a pair of Michael Jordan shoes that are worth $150. The kid he steals them from, he pushes them over. That's strike 1. Then he goes to a store, steals a coat. On the way out of the store, he pushes the clerk. That's strike 2. He does his jail time. He gets out of jail. He's released. But then he goes to a bar, gets in a bar fight. Even though a bar fight's not a serious crime, that's still strike 3. That's 25 year to a life sentence. It's not the serious crime, but the fact is he's on his third strike. So I've seen what I know about this, and I know what my outcome is of this. I know what I think, but I want an outside view. So I asked Sam Sigurdsson on December 1st of 2022 what he thought, and he said, "That's too many strikes." And I completely agreed. The three strikes law does not deter crime because it's giving criminals 3 chances to commit felonies, which if a criminal is willing to go back to prison, they're going to commit felonies. They're not afraid to spend their life in jail for the rest of time. So I do not believe that the three strikes law deters crime. It's giving criminals too many chances. Thank you.
Here.
Yeah. I could just leave it open until this Casey shows up.
And nothing stands. Volume and tones. Consistent. Rates is pretty good. Yeah, but it's much. The Samsung is law enforcement. But,
I had this one.
okay. Did you have four?
I had the other ones that I used.
Okay, cool. Yeah, besides, transitions. I like the hypothetical. Yeah. It's kind of good stuff, because like, you don't want to necessarily throw off your like content. In the pursuit of trying to keep your feet still. But yeah. Thank you.
5 flat. Right? No, 539.
Oh, I thought it
Four,
was-
458.
I didn't catch the thank you at the end, so.
Ah,
ask-
Where's the 2-second thank you?
Finish your time, fill that out. You check the Mercutio?
No, I didn't. Thank you.
Where is that?
35.
It's right corner.
Yeah, I didn't even have the right amount. It was way off.
I'll amend it.
This theory. That is fuck.
What was your topic?
Please Christopher Columbus of Europe.
There we go.
Is Christopher Columbus of Europe? Do you want to do the time?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Okay. I would wake up at $22,000 again. Rather than a lot of going off in the middle of the beach. I think it's
Respect the wishes.
18.
Yeah, of
I
course.
know, but I'm just like, oh, no. And I have like.
Pretty much.
Operation.
Oh, my.
So it sounds like a good lunch. Applesauce, bread,
The school's been kind of nailing lunches this year.
and peas. And I like the school's peas.
I do like-
You know, with salt. Sometimes they don't. But
The thing, one of the school's things that's a hit or miss is their corn, I think.
you know, it's either really bland or they put in the salt and then it's just.
Texture too.
What I ate today? A banana. I hope they got me a banana and you.
One of my topics on one of the diets was the banana diet. Not a good diet, not a good diet, no.
I remember when we did like diet projects. the
That's
self-stuff.
the one I did. And so I just threw it in there. It's like, I was like, I'm gonna throw that in the one,
I did some sort of diet where you only eat like one thing too.
like a cleanse.
It was like a lemon diet.
Oh,
And you only ate lemons or lemon water,
gross.
not lemonade, just lemon diet.
I don't even remember like exactly about when you can talk about it. Mine was like the alkaline diet. You just have like
Oh,
super low levels.
yeah.
Oh.
There was some that was like more examples. Mine's like food you can eat. Lemons.
It's the same thing with like the carnivore diet. All you can use like meat and fish.
But then it's like, but not red meat.
Mm-hmm. I would not be able to do a diet that didn't have dairy or grains in it, I don't think.
Oh, grains, I would suck. I don't know. I feel like they could do without that.
Red meat?
Yeah. And just have like chicken.
I like red meat.
See, I like.
I get
hamburgers,
steak. I get steak like every time I go to a restaurant.
but I don't like steak. I only like ground hamburger.
That's it.
Yeah, like I don't like roast beef either. So that's why when it's whole, I'm not a fan. I don't know why.
Hmm.
You not either, but like I like it with ketchup.
Fair.
You don't remember?
Brother. The past 3 nights, I swear, he was eating grilled cheese and stuff like that.
You know what my brother used to eat
I'm so
ketchup?
upset about it.
One morning.
I know. I was like,
Doesn't bother me.
My brother ate hers with ketchup.
How do you eat your steaks?
I just don't anymore, but with ketchup. Like growing up when my mom would make it,
Overcooked steak here over?
probably.
Give us some blood, man.
Medium rare.
the medium rare.
Yeah, medium rare is where it's at.
I don't use steak sauce though. Can't do steak
So you
sauce.
had
Ruins the
before?
steak.
A good seasoned steak doesn't need sauce.
When we went to Max's after your homecoming
Mhm.
candidate thing, I think Todd got a steak, like a whiskey steak.
Max's steak is
Yeah, the bourbon steak.
Or something like that.
yeah.
I took a bite, and it was fine.
That's
Max's
pretty good.
steak is bomb.
Yeah. I love steak.
I always get the sirloin, but I get it without the merlot sauce on top.
I think I could like become a little more fan of steak, not roast beef. I don't like roast beef.
Yeah.
Well. Try something a little less cooked,
Yeah,
a little, not, well done steak, it's just chewy and it's difficult. Yeah,
You gotta have it melt in your mouth. One last time for Carson. What do you know?
how was the ortho?
no,
Hopefully when I birthday.
birthday's in May.
It's May.
What you haven't got? Give Carson a moment. One more time, Bella, what is your topic?
Is Christopher Columbus a hero?
Excellent, audience, are you ready?
Yeah.
Bella, are you ready?
Yes.
And proceed.
When it comes to Christopher Columbus, what is your first thought? A famous explorer, a hero, or possibly a villain? A question asked by biography was he a brave explorer, a greedy invader, a gifted navigator, or a reckless adventurer? In school, teachers teach us that in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. So we all know that Columbus sailed across the Atlantic Ocean and discovered what is now called the Bahamas. He brought back gold to Spain and also converted Indians to Christianity. But in reality, Christopher Columbus wasn't such a great guy. A journal of Columbus legacy in the Caribbean and in Meso and South America, they enslaved the native people, chaining them together at the neck and marching them in columns to sell gold and silver mines, decapitating any who did not walk quickly enough. They sliced off women's breasts for support and fed their babies to the packs of armored wolfhounds and mastiffs that accompanied the Spanish soldiers. Was Columbus a villain? Definitely. He was definitely a villain. He is now being accused of being a murderer as well. Fox discovered 9 reasons why Columbus is such a horrible person and a villain. The first reasoning being Columbus kidnapped a Carib woman and gave her to a crew member to rape. The second reasoning, a crew member cut off an Indian's ear to shock others into submission. The next one, Columbus kidnapped and enslaved thousands of people on Hispaniola Island. Another reason, Columbus forced Indians to collect gold for him or else die. 500,000 Indians committed mass suicide rather than help the Spanish soldiers. The sixth reasoning is 56 years after Columbus had gone through his first expedition, only 530,000 Indians remained on Hispaniola. The seventh reasoning, Columbus was a horrible person to the Spanish under his rule and committed brutal actions. The eighth reason is settlers under Columbus sold 9 and 10-year-old girls into sexual slavery. And the ninth and final reason is Indian slaves were beheaded when their Spanish captors couldn't bother to untie them. Another reason why Christopher Columbus is such a horrible human being is he is also being accused of genocide. We all know when he came on his first expedition, he and his other crewmates had spread diseases that Indians had not been immune to yet. Nature Bound estimated of the size of the Indian population of the Americans at the time, Columbus ranged from about 40 to 8 million by 1650. This had been reduced to only about 5 to 6 million, a decline of over 85%, even 100% of extinction in some religions. As you can see, Columbus had been such a horrible person to the Indians, which made some of them to go extinct. This is a very controversial topic, with whether he is a hero or a villain. Indigenous Day, what is so-called Christopher Columbus Day, is now being revoked and now being called Indigenous People Day. In 2021, Joe Biden proclaimed October 11th as the first official Indigenous People Day. In 1977 was the first time Indigenous People Day was suggested and celebrated. Many states are still not okay with it, so they still celebrate Christopher Columbus Day. In conclusion, Columbus is no hero, but a villain. Signal stated in an article, in the end, Columbus never really discovered the Americas, as he only disrupted the natural lifestyle of the indigenous Americans that were already there. He took not only their land, but their people, resources, and the way of life. Therefore, Christopher Columbus is a villain because of all the mass genocides and the murder he has caused. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's not.
What was the time?
4:55:94.
4:56:13.